Welcome back, everybody, to our second series of the day. It is some familiar faces. Me and Kukel here back for series number 2, Reval Lynx versus Interstellar Aquila. And if that first series is anything to go off of, today is going to be a banger of a day, as I'm pretty sure we are already heading into draft. Neither of the teams want to wait any longer.
Yeah, I mean, we already have the band sorted out. Like they are just doing it in rapid mode apparently. Interesting bands. We see Ivan first picked, which is not that much of a surprise, but we see Vladimir banned out, which, like on my records at least, is not a champion, by the way. But here we are, right? And on the Interstellar side, we see Graves and Brom like checked off right away, which is interesting. I mean, maybe they want to go Draven. We see Misfortune, so that actually makes a lot of sense. But I mean, it's certainly not the route you would usually go when we talked about how broken Jinx and Caitlyn both are, and they're both open.
Definitely not. Interstellar are flying through this draft, immediately picking up the Misfortune or an opting, or at least so far looking like they're opting for more of a team fight comp for themselves. And yep, there you go. I was about to bring it up. Gwen generally is the answer to Ornn, definitely good into the Misfortune as well. And so far, we are seeing Ivern first pick once again, and definitely a prediction that you made earlier today that is going to be a sort of an important and an up there champion alongside with many people's opinions of the current meta, and that is exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, um, I like I'm saying, if Ivan doesn't get banned, it has to be picked. It's just, the clear is so good, the utility is so good, and it leads the people like the champions into the late game as it should, and then they just get free scaling. What is interesting, of course, is that both top laners are picked on the first rotation, which doesn't happen so often. And we see Xayah picked against Misfortune, which doesn't really mean much yet because the supports haven't been picked, but certainly they are not the champions I was hoping for.
Yeah, I feel like Xayah into MF it's not it's not a horrible matchup. I feel like for either side, it's kind of 50-50, and supports are gonna determine a lot. An engaged support coming through for the side of Interstellar, and if you are if you are the side of Interstellar here, what are sort of support options you're looking to take away for the side of Revel Lynx now that the Xayah is locked in?
I mean, anything that is hyper engage, really. Because like Misfortune really lacks this self peel that a normally Ezreal or Xayah would have. So having just something you can gap close with is gonna be like the deciding factor here. Something like Nautilus, Leona, you know, something that really like locks down and dashes.
Definitely. So things like Nautilus are still open pretty good with the Xayah, and Xayah is one of those champions where she has so much self-peel that generally, like you said it yourself, you are completely fine picking something engaged and sort of leaving the Xayah to peel for herself. Nautilus is still open, all of these tank engage supports, and there is finally some respect to the Poppy that you brought up earlier, and it's gonna be banned from the side of Revel Lynx.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting that they banned Poppy because wait, that doesn't make any sense. Because like I feel it's Interstellar's like job to actually disable Poppy here because playing Ornn and Rell into Poppy is absolutely unbearable. But then again, having Gwen and Ivan into Poppy is fine. Like I don't get it. It's just maybe they know something I don't. I'm just like flabbergasted.
The homies be cooking.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Definitely. So far double mid lane bans save for the side of Interstellar. I asked about the support bans. Clearly they don't value them whatsoever because they're gonna go ahead and ban two mid laners instead, Orianna and Ari, and that is two champions out of the three mid lane mages you mentioned earlier. So far Syndra is the only one that is left open that is sort of up there that normally does get picked. I would assume it is gonna be an AP mid laner because I'm thinking they're gonna go with an AD top instead of Interstellar, which sort of means that you would be potentially full AD and things like Malphite are still open for the side of Revel Lynx if they want it in the top lane. But now that the Gwen is locked in, I doubt it's gonna be the Malphite top, although we could also see a Malphite mid, so who knows. But Rakan is gonna be, wait, no? Or well jungle. Okay, yeah, it makes sense.
like even more now. Why do you ban Poppy? Like you see my point? It's like what? Why are we shooting ourselves in the leg? What?
Homie's a little bit confused.
I am a bit confused. Rightfully so, I think.
Yeah, I I definitely agree. I probably would have been. Oh, that is a second year so of the day. Were they
Yeah, I
watching
mean,
the first series?
I think that's why the Poppy was like they just really feared that Poppy would be a good counter to this Yasuo. But then again, you have to like chunk Poppy to mid, so you know it's not that great. But we're gonna see what Interstellar cooks up against that Yasuo. It's probably gonna be Renekton, but no way they can't because they have to pick AP. Otherwise, it's gonna be like almost a full AD comp, and they pick Akali, which is I don't know, not so great into Yasuo, but it's not bad either.
Yeah, I feel like Akali is just not enough AP DPS. She's more of an assassin, and when you're looking at so many AD threats on the side of Interstellar, I feel like the side of Reval Lynx is completely fine just building armor into an Akali. Akali is a champion that obviously is somewhat decent right now. I don't tend to see too often in my solo queue games, but definitely a champion that has seen a little bit of play. And so far, we are seeing the side of Interstellar opt in for a lot more of the team fight comp with the Rakan, with the Ornn, with the Misfortune, with the Rel, a whole bunch of CC, and a whole bunch of engage.
Yeah, yeah, I can't open my mouth too much because of course I'm biased here, right? Uh, for the Estonians, but if you're looking at the drafts, then we have on the Revel Lynx side, I feel something of a traditional comp. We have those two pillars, or rather tanks, in the face of Alistair and Ivan, and then we have like three insane damage dealers as Gwen, Xayah, and Yasuo. On the other side, for the Interstellar, we have three pillars, Ornn, Rel, and Rakan, and I'm just thinking about how if Akali doesn't actually get set off well, then they are lacking AP and lacking hard, and getting that Misfortune to deal the soul damage is gonna be rough to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. So, and so far, we are as well seeing on the Reval Links. I I do like their draft just because the Gwen into Ornn tends to be very good for the Gwen. It tends to be heavy top-sided for their side. If this Gwen can pick up a couple of items for herself, I realistically do not see a way for the side of Interstellar to deal with Gwen. Because once you press Hallowed Mist, suddenly your Misfortune is entirely relevant in that fight, and all her range just doesn't matter because Gwen just doesn't take damage because that champion has a very balanced kit and just very fun to play against for the side of Riot, but another dub for them. And on the side of obviously Interstellar, they do want to opt in for the team fight. They opted in for the 5v5, but it's hard, I feel like, into the comp of Revel Lynx just because of the Gwen.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at individually, there is no way that Gwen is gonna lose to Ornn, right? Like by every mean, Gwen should win that fight. I'm just foreshadowing. Uh, but I mean, then again, if Gwen gets fed in the top lane, I don't really care who else gets fed because the only thing that Interstellar can do right now is just come like linearly into the Revel Lynx team. We have Rel and Rakan, both who move like fairly just straight up into the enemy. There is no flanking involved. Like, and if it's just Rel jumps in, then Ivan just can E, and Rel is suddenly just finds himself just sitting there, can't do anything, can't reach anything, just watching how she gets killed.
Yeah, I mean, not just the Ivern, but the Alistar as well, right? Like both of those champions sort of just say, you don't get to play the game anymore, just boop you away. That's why you generally see the Alistar into the Rel, because it's just such a good counter pick. Rel Magnet Storms, Alistar just presses one button, headbutt, point and click, sends the Rel over to Narnia, and suddenly she's just not playing the game anymore. So definitely, I feel like a much better comp from the side of Revel Lynx in this game one, and this Zaya as well, as a champion, Zaya is someone that people, or Zaya loves that people run into her, right? Because of that ultimate, Zaya wants people to run into those feathers, wants people to run in a straight line, which, like you highlighted, is the only thing the side of Interstellar can do outside of an Akali flank, which again, Zaya should perfectly fine against with her ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, after a minute of thought, now think about it. I mean, picking Xerath over Akali here would be massive. Because the thing Interstellar wants right now is to outrange. That is pretty much the only thing they can do effectively right now. Because Akali just is gonna get poked down. And MF is just the sole thing that should get those fights set up in the way that they might be winnable. So I'm pretty sure Xerath has nothing that Yasuo Windwall can block. I mean, E does. Wait, no man, yeah, E does. But still, I think Xerath would be quite good in the setup.
The real question is, can you block Gwen ult with Yasuo Windwall?
Mm,
I'm not entirely sure.
no. I mean,
It's a projectile though, right?
yeah.
So surely you just go boop. I mean, granted, in the context of things, it doesn't matter in this game because they happen to be on the same team. But it's just a thought that crossed my mind
Yeah, I
because
get you.
it makes sense that he should be able to, but Riot interactions can be a little bit funny at times. We've all seen it when Nautilus just bends his hook around minions, but I don't know. Maybe he can, maybe he cannot. But in this context, it doesn't really make a difference as they happen to be on the same team. And definitely, okay. So how do Interstellar win this game? Because I think we've both agreed that Reval Lynx has just completely giga stomped them in the draft. But if they were to win this game on the side of Interstellar, how would you, or if you were the side of Interstellar and you were playing for them, how would you tell your team to do
I would force all my resources onto Misfortune and pray.
it?
Like what else? Thing is, I get it. Gwen can just press W and MF just doesn't play the game. But what else is gonna dominate that? Akali's just gonna jump in, get CC'd to oblivion, and well killed. Oren doesn't get to ult because Yasuo just windwalls it. MF just, I mean, the only thing MF can do is just play from the safe distance where just the Revelings can't reach her, and that's it.
Yeah, definitely. So I am at least expecting for this game to be a little bit, or at least not a little bit, a lot more scrappy than we saw the game one be in our first series of the day, because obviously when you have champions like Ornn, like Rel, like Rakan, when you're playing an engage comp and you have so many tools to go in, generally you tend to see people want to use those tools as well and you want to see them fight. So I'm expecting for both of these teams to be very heavy handed when it does come to those skirmishes. But this is the second time we're seeing a Yasuo on the table, and this time around does have some setup around him with the Alistar as well. So definitely I'm excited to see what this Yasuo can bring to the table and seeing if he can make more of a difference than Dot ended up making in that game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be rough either way. How we're gonna see the game play out is probably that just Interstellar tries to make plays early on. If they do succeed, then there is hope. If they don't, well, no hope.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I mean, so far we haven't even touched on sort of where these two teams are in the standings at the moment, since we got so quickly into the draft. But now that I feel like we have covered everything for the most part, we do have a little bit of time for ourselves. So, Interstellar Aquila at the moment 8-4, Revel Lynx at the moment 8-4 as well. So both of these teams realistically should have a playoff spot secured, but like I was talking about earlier, this is all about asserting your dominance. This is about making teams be scared of you for the playoffs. And potentially, if we get a 2-0 today, this could be the first team who reaches double-digit victories.
Okay, that
Big
is,
stakes.
yeah, big stakes. That's what we're all here for. It doesn't matter like how much you win with. It just matters that you get the win and you get those big numbers up on the board.
Yeah, definitely. So, but finally into the rift, into this game number 1. And again, looking at the runes, looking at the summoner spells, is there something you see that out of the picture, something you see that's not quite ordinary, or is it pretty similar that you're used to seeing?
I mean, no, I don't think there is anything like really wrong with it. But having Conqueror on the Akali is just a sign of like just wanting to fist fight it out. Like there's no backing down, no safe rune to play here. It's just all about winning those fights and already seeing that Akali is asserting dominance on the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I think for me, I prefer the Conqueror in this game just because I don't expect for these fights to sort of be too short. Considering you're looking at a Gwen, you're looking at an Ivern, and you're looking on the other side on a Rel, Rakan, I expect for these team fights to last longer. So it means that your Conqueror is you're gonna get more uptime. It's gonna be much more useful than the normal Electrocute that we are used to seeing. But already lost Murderito in the top lane, putting the hurt onto Marcus, and Marcus being in the bad end of some of these trades.
Yeah, there is nothing you can do. Like, as an Ornn player, I don't want to face Gwen. The champion is immune every time I try to hit it, and it just bothers the heck out of me. So I get the pain. Marcus must be going through 5 stages of grief right now. So there is that. But Gwen is really brave. Like Los Mordereto is just barging his way onto the red, not fearing like any repercussions at all. Interesting.
Hey man, he went in, he made his way out, that's all that matters. It's all about the pressure, making Yollerin feel like, he's under a little bit of pressure there in that top side. End up getting the camp regardless, so it doesn't really make a difference. But if you do have some free time, considering he got the wave pushed in, he had a little bit of a vacation from that top lane. Might as well spend it in the top side jungle, see what you can find. Maybe he'll learn, finishing his red on 1 HP, no smite, maybe you can pick it up, maybe you can't. But if you got that free time and you're losing nothing over it, why not go for a play?
Yeah, I mean, there is not much to lose, and if you do end up getting that rel, that's gonna just accelerate everything we have talked about before, which is exactly what Reval Lynx would want.
Definitely. So, and I mean, early kills in a late matchup that you're already winning can just be so detrimental. But so far, we have seen Los Murderito now is going to taking the bad end of a couple of these trades. And so far, seeing a much slower game, which is sort of what we expected. As I say that, I curse the mid lanes. It also going to have to burn Flash there and like it more going to be up by someone.
Oh, wait.
Nah, he's fine.
Yeah, but how could this happen?
I'm a little bit confused, but he's fine.
It's the strong Ornn showing that like the mountain doesn't yield. Okay, Rel coming in.
Another fight in the mid lane, but Rel coming in, like you said, Rel gonna be going out as well. No action in the mid lane. Yollerin just felt like he needed to make his presence known, and so far we have seen just a little bit of summoners traded in the mid lane. Outside of that, it's been a pretty slow game. Now no info is around, although Zerorzo might not have any info that he's there, so definitely keep your eyes out for that one. I feel like there is no realistic play here on... Okay, I don't like the fact that he win bought that just because they're trying to bait for play, but outside of that, it was very good reaction time.
Yeah, that didn't end up making a big difference though. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe, but like, just both supports are just really roaming around, like Info and Val here, both looking for that pick, and they are finding nobody. So it's a quite lonely place, this jungle.
Yeah, it's very dark as well, I feel like, for the side of Interstellar. They don't have a lot of vision to play around with, although Algren does need to be a little bit careful. First dragon has spawned on the map. It is a Hextech Drake, and I feel like both teams gonna be wanting to fight over this one. So far, I feel like today we've had all the first Drakes. Has been quite nice as well, and I'm a little bit scared for Marcus, because once Los Murderito hits level 6, Gwen's damage between when she has her ultimate and when she doesn't can be the difference between life and death, and sometimes it just sneaks up on you, just like 3 Angry Inches is sneaking up on the bot lane of Interstellar, but it's just gonna be some damage traded on in, and Algren just making his way out with no summoners burn.
Yeah, I mean the kill is just not coming through, but they don't stop looking, and We are still trying to skirmish our way out. It seems Griller has had enough and just backing off.
Definitely so, and we mentioned a winning matchup in the top side for the side of Reval Lynx, but with the Hallowed Mist coming through, Marcus needs to be a little bit careful now. The ultimate coming out as well. Snip, 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 the needlework comes on up. Marcus with the flash out the coast is popped on the side of Los Murderito, now Unstoppable coming through, but there's some summoners traded again, and this was meant to be a winning matchup for the side of Reval Lynx is very, very close.
Alright, but like it's 20 farm difference though.
Yeah.
So it's quite a bit of gold. If you're talking about how 15 minions are pretty much the same as a kill, then yeah, I would say Gwen is winning quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely so, and health bars as well has been very low in the top side, and so far we are seeing what I would describe myself as an LCK game, you know, this is not what you see from the Asian regions, over in World, over in Plains, where it's just a bit of a slower game, both teams are just looking to chill with each other, no one wants to make a misstep, and sometimes this happens when you're playing, you know, on stream. Sometimes players are just so scared to make a misstep and then get clowned in the Discord afterwards that no one just wants to do anything. So then we just sit here staring at each other.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like really okay to do this if both teams scaled equally, but as we talked about in draft, that is really not the case. So I'm hoping Interstellar makes a move soon, and like already have seeing in mid this kind of aggression is what I'm looking for. But if they do not amp it up, then it's gonna be quite a rough ride in the late game.
Yeah, definitely so. But I am expecting for the sort of Interstellar to start, I feel like making a little bit more plays. These level 6s are starting to come through for both of these teams. You already saw Zidorzo burn his own ultimate in that mid lane. Now Hjalmar has made his way over. Flash is available on this rail, but again, just doesn't want to commit to the plays. Zidorzo without the ultimate, they're just scared that they don't have the damage to finish off the Yasuo in the mid lane.
I'm surprised that Zidorzo could just resist the temptation of pressing that E again. It's like Lee syndrome, right? We're all familiar with. Oh! Okay, Algrin getting that AoE damage that he so much is looking for and does get no info down.
Although Ghost popped on Algrim means he can chase this down. That's not the movement speed. Now a flash away from Keller, trying to make his way over to safety, but Algrim picking up another kill solo bolo in the bot lane, and this MF is unleashed.
It's quite a bit of embarrassment really getting 2v1 on the bot lane, right? it's a bit of a yikes as we call it.
Little bit of a yikes, although like it more now might be having a little bit of a yikes for himself as well, as Zidorzo is gonna be looking for flash forward, the flash out, the flash in, everybody's flashing all around. Now Hjalmar gonna be looking for a play, but looking is what he should not do, as he's gonna go down, double kill for like it more, and we spent 7 minutes 0-0 just to die 4 times in 30 seconds. What's going on?
Yeah, they just finally got enough
Oh
and are looking for that for the acceleration of a game. I mean, the Herald is coming up, so that's what what they fought over. So if they had enough foresight that this was the fight to go for Herald, then it's actually impressive.
Definitely so, and so far some more trading in the bot lane as well. I'm a little bit scared. I was looking at the health bars. I saw the health bars go down in the bot lane. I was like, oof, do we have another double for Algren there? But both ADCs are just going to walk on away. So far, MF is the one that is accelerated versus the Yasuo, and I don't know about you, but if I had to choose one of them, I would feel like I would definitely take the Misfortune in the situation that Interstellar are in.
I'm exactly on the same boat, and as I told you before, if I was part of the Interstellar, this is exactly the thing I would want to happen. I would want to have that fed MF. I mean, not the fed Yasuo, of course, but you know. But also fight breaking out again, where Algren gets another pick, which is quite nasty, if I say so.
Definitely a feel-good moment for Algren when your team does everything. All you have to do is just walk in and bonk him on the head once, and just pick yourself up the 3rd kill of the game. Now gonna be picking himself up a solo plate as well, and this is MF Definitely rich when it comes to the bank now. Like it more made his way over to the bot lane as well. Could look for King Valor, but with the grand entrance, he's not even gonna burn it. He's gonna go to his jungler, gonna get the shield on out, dash on out. But plates picked up in the mid lane for Zedorzo meanwhile, and this Akali just getting a little bit more gold under his belt.
I mean, Akali is just really struggling to get that gold on because if Yasuo gets out of hand, then that might be it for Akali's mid game. And like, there's nowhere to go. If you go side, then you're just gonna get washed out. And no info finding that angle with the Hex Flash. Getting that Conqueror in.
Has found his way in now. No, Info gonna be looking for the stun as well. Zedorzo with the flash on
wait,
out.
what?
But the solo Polo in the top lane. Marcus said, screw this matchup. I don't care. I am Ornn. I will take your family. I will take your health bar. And I will take you to the grave.
You see, this was foreshadowing. I told you before. If I talk about how this is the winning matchup, then, you know, this is it.
Oh god, how?
The Caster Curse is real.
Oh, flash in the mid lane though. Now he'll learn
the
is gonna
misses
find the
from the
engage.
Zedorzo.
Preller has to be careful. Double root comes on through. The cow has made his way into the mid lane as well, trying to help out the AD carry. But Marcus, the big winner in the top lane.
I mean, also Hjallen being at the right place at the right time, it's just really scary if that rail just jumps on the wall onto you. But I mean, then again, Yasuo got out. Oh, not Yasuo. That was Kriller.
Definitely so, and so far, we did see the game being a little bit slow for the first 7 minutes, but we are seeing some action now. Second dragon is gonna be coming up very, very soon as well. Gonna be an Infernal Dragon in front of us today, and I do expect for the side of Reval Lynx to want to pick that one up as well. So we take a look at the gold quickly here. You see gold lead for Marcus with that solo kill. Gold in the mid lane for Dodd. For Like It More, sorry, I'm used to Dot on the Yasuo after the #1 series, and Like It More with those two kills, a little bit of a gold lead in the mid lane as well. Both AD carries with items already on the board, and you can see the first items of the game are starting to come through.
If you're looking back on the previous series as well, I'm really surprised how much presence does what is the item called? The tank item the Ornn has.
Radiant Virtue.
Right, Radiant Virtue has. It's cheap, it's effective.
They're fighting. Hold on
Yeah.
now, wait a minute. Hallowed Mist is gonna come on out. Now everyone is looking to get themselves mixed on in. Now Like It More with the double man ultimate. Magnet Storm is gonna be huge. Double knock up as well. Hjallen trying to make his way on out. Too deep, my friend, as he's gonna get taken out. Double kill so far for Kreller, just getting burnt. Like It More looking for more, looking for that big Ornn. Angry Inch is gonna be in trouble as Dorzo made his way in. The flash on out is not gonna get him over the wall. No info. Trying to see what he can do. He will get the flash over the wall now. Looking for a re-engage here. Marcus is gonna be looking for the Ornn. Horn does get the one member. The Yasuo is gonna get knocked up. Radiant Virtue is gonna get procced, and that is just both teams gonna be walking away, and both teams finding kills in that team fight. The Dorzo now looking for a re-engage in the mid lane, looking to take the 1v1, turns into a 2v1, turns into a 2v2. Everyone's looking for some action. Double knock up in the mid lane now. He's gonna find the kill onto the Dorzo. Like It More, absolutely popping up on the Yasuo. Unstoppable comes through now. The Rakan has made his way back. King Valor has made his way in. Grand Entrance is gonna go in now. Kreller as well has arrived. This fight has been going up for so long that the respawning members are just coming on back, but it is at the end of the day an extremely good fight for both sides, and I have no idea what the hell happened.
But the fight started out with the Gwen just getting chunked off and, you know, not achieving much, but as the fight dragged on, the Ivern was getting so much value on the shields, on the Daisy, that it turned like really bad for Interstellar. But they managed to squeeze out just a few more picks and at least turn it out even.
Yeah, definitely. So I can't tell whether Kreller meant to flash over the wall or whether he meant to flash to reposition his feathers just to see if he could have enough damage, but nonetheless, ends up going down. It ends up being Drake over to Reval as one now. Like It More trouble in the side lane as the Dorzo gonna be going in Hjallen as well. The mid jungle duo making their way in. Like It More with a beautiful flash over the CC. See the tornado as well. The outplay Like It More with the moves. Hjallen is gonna go down as well, and this is the man Dot needs to be learning from, because what the hell just happened?
Yeah, the tornado like hit at just the right time to stop that Akali from getting close. And yeah, that was history.
It was gorgeous. I mean, just look at the engage come through like it or just with the 2v1 this flash. There. He
And
flashed
there it
over
is, what you're looking for.
Algren.
And Sidorus is just dies here with nothing to show for it.
That was so impressive. Algren ends up falling while the replay is going on, but who cares about that? I wanted to see like it more, just keep going there. It was so smooth moves. You can tell he took some dance lessons.
I'm sure he came prepared. Aye, aye.
Definitely. So homie moving out there. Herald gonna be going over to the side of Reval Lynx as well. And this is where the top lane matchup gets tricky for Marcus. It's gonna be the Riftmaker coming through for Los Murderito as well. And this Gwen is gonna just slowly keep on getting stronger. But you were talking about Interstellar needing to accelerate the game. You're talking about them needing to be ahead, and they are the ones behind by about 3k.
Yeah, that is not the scenario you want to be in because I don't think there is a world where you will win fights later on if the goals are even. Like we're looking at 3,000 gold deficiency here with 2 dragons on the Reveling's side, and if those fights just come on and on in the river, then eventually I think Revelings is gonna walk away with the dragon soul.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, speaking of the soul as well, it's gonna be a big one coming through. So far, Hextech and Infernal are gonna be off the table. And as well, we are seeing some more items coming through for both of these teams. Radiant Virtue for all of the top side on the side of Interstellar. Rocket Belt finished up for Zedorzo, which means once the damage starts ramping up, you can just gonna see people die even faster than they already have. Keller taking a big chunk in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is just looking for something because no objective is coming even like in the near future. It's just scouting, farming up as much as they can, and they're preparing their every every fiber of being just to get into the team fight. But then again, no info. Finding that Haldan again, and
I
it's not
think
looking to
they
fight.
might be done preparing. They've had enough. They won a skirmish. They got bored just like we saw in the first series. And so far just gonna be walking on out. But yeah, speaking of that, you can definitely tell vision game here for the side of Revel Lynx is definitely superior. The side of Interstellar, not much vision in that bot side out of the one ward inside of their own jungle, but that should expire soon, I do believe. So definitely do need to take back that river control if they want any chance of contesting this trade.
Yeah, I mean, river control is just really, I wouldn't say underrated in the sense that I think every team, at least on this league, is fairly like has practiced it beforehand, but it is certainly something that must not be underestimated. Because if you do want to walk into that, let's say if Interstellar got the grasp of the mid lane, I mean the river, then you have to walk into Orn and into Rel, into MF. It's not gonna be pleasant either way.
Yeah, definitely not. So speaking of MF and not pleasant, Algren in not so pleasant of a situation is gonna have to burn his own flash. No info, got the combo on through, and this is scary because Dragon is about to come up and Algren without a flash, very mobile, only has the ghost to his name. Now Knockup is gonna come through like it more the target here. Can they take down the Yasuo, the one with all the kills? And also is gonna get the shot down, he's gonna find the assassination, Los Margarito in the back line. He's gonna have to pop that stasis, but he's all on his own. The CC comes through. Algren is gonna pick up that kill, and just such a scattered T fight for the side of Revelation. 2 kills over to Interstellar. Can they find more? Here's it also definitely looking, definitely hunting. Doesn't want to get booped under tower. There is not gonna go in for that engage. Chemtech Soul on the table, but the side of Revelink said screw that, we're gonna push in the mid lane instead, looking for any gold they can find. Do you see the pings coming through? Herald is gonna be popped in the mid lane as well. Now Valher, Zadorzo trying to defend this mid lane for their dear life. Kreller does still have a lot of damage, so they need to be careful in this mid lane. King Valor is gonna look for the engage. Damage is gonna come on through. Now Algren has made his way over. Bullet time is not gonna be available. TP in the mid lane. They're gonna look for the engage. Valor is gonna fall. They're both gonna fall. The bot lane is down for the side of Interstellar. Like it more with a ski blade in the mid lane. This is a pick that is coming in clutch for the side of Reval Lynx.
Yeah, I mean, as we saw, Algrim was just going really brave and looking for that ultimate, but ultimately no info, just found the angle, put, got her up, and that was history then.
Definitely so, and looking at the replay as well, you can walk us through this because this was a scattered team fight.
Oh yeah, I mean, it started with Ornn getting those 2 knockups and Rakan like right following up, but it turned into mess real quick with nobody, nobody can really tell what is going on here.
Yeah, definitely so, and the stage is buying a little bit more time, but like it more just again popping off in the mid lane. Baron now started for the side of Reval Lynx. Can they stop this? 3,000 so far, the flash over the wall, they're gonna finish this one up. Yolern doesn't get into the pit, knowing for making sure that doesn't happen. The bullet rain is so big. Can they take the team fight? Interstellar are just tearing through the side of Reval Lynx. Marcus does get taken. Marcus is the one who takes down, and Kreller now gonna be in trouble in the top lane. Algren running him down, no ultimate for Kreller, no Featherstorm gonna be available. Might get the base off with the Baron empowered recall, and no side of Interstellar is gonna find the Zaya, gets himself out, but a lot of dead members for the side of Reval Lynx.
Yeah, I mean, that recall was really, really cutting it close. But then again, he had no other option, so... We see here, actually, Grella getting out, like, barely. Like, everything that happened here, like, was like almost pixel perfect. Not to say that it was really, really well played from Greller, because you shouldn't end up being in a situation in the first place, but once you do end up there, it's just a matter of survival, and he pulled it off.
Yeah, definitely in a situation where you don't want to find yourself in too often, but it is good to know. And it's good to know that you can rely on your AD carry for the side of Reval Lynx, that if he is there, can definitely outplay, can definitely make his way out. Now with them having only a 2k gold lead, and it's weird because it feels like this should be the side of Interstellar, who's found all those team fights, found themselves so many kills, and yet they're still behind on gold, yet this game is still as close as it is. Zedorzo now gonna be looked on in the top lane. Knock up is gonna come through now, the ultimate on out, but Zedorzo is gonna have to burn his ultimate to keep himself alive.
I mean, ultimate is not that steep of a price to pay, considering you would otherwise end up dead before actually the fight happens.
Should be fine. Yes, Marcus is gonna be able to walk his way on out as the Ornn, very tanky.
But the Haljarn is looking for it.
I mean, he does have the plant right next to him. That is a
Yeah.
Chemtech evolved plant, which means it has a lot of range. So if he can precision it correctly and engage on the top lane, Marcus gonna find himself a knock up onto 3 now. A fight is gonna ensue. The Magnet Storm is quite big, but can they reach the backline? Kreller is still full HP. Keep your eyes on the Zaya, but they have reached the Gwen. They have got him, and the side of Reval Lynx playing this front 2 back, just winning the team fight so far. Kreller full HP, like it more, still full HP. All these carries on the side of Reval Lynx, so much health to play around with. Marcus now left to his lonesome to defend this top tower. Everyone else is just backing on away. They want to give it away. They don't want to fight this anymore. Marcus gonna be looked on by Like It More. Might go to find the Ornn here. The Blade Core does find the root, but the tornado onto Algren there. He should go down if they can find them. His fortune, no, but he lives so far. Finally ends up going down. 2 kills traded back. But what a play from Like It More.
Yeah, I mean, he hurts right now. He has so much gold. And whoever just ends up eating the tornado is probably gonna get chunked at least half HP. Yeah, but that was... I mean, Helen came in, like, actually well timed. It just... They lacked damage in the end, which cost them the team fight, but... I don't think it was, like, badly played. It was rather a result of just the previous game. Like, the rest of the 25 minutes.
I mean, definitely so, and Like It More, I gotta admit that Nado was pretty damn nice. That's one of those fake outs where, you know, you look one way, you toss the tornado the other way. The champion that you generally see it on is Thresh, just because of the way his hook animation works, where you can do the same thing as well. Should be a Dragon Soul, should be a Soul Point, sorry, coming through for the side of Reval Lynx here, and They are the ones who are very much in the driver's seat, 3,000 gold up so far, and like it more, 9 on 2. He is the main man with the bank on their side. 3 items finished up as well, going to the way of his 4th item, and this is a rough time for Interstellar at the moment.
Yeah, I'm sure Interstellar is having a bit of a panic. But I hope they haven't given up just yet, because we don't want to see it just a one-way stomp. But I'm sure Like It More is just sitting in a bush, waiting for his chance, and maybe gets another sick tornado at the end of it.
I mean, he can definitely look for it. I wouldn't be at all surprised considering how he's been playing so far, and fucking just looking for the Nado. And I feel like either team is gonna engage any moment now. We have seen these team fights just be very explosive. As I say, like, gotta engage on King Valor, not the target you want to be looking for. The Rakan is not who you need to kill. Marcus taking a lot of damage. Preller, a person that is very fed as well and has a lot of items to kill this front line on the side of Interstellar, looking for the mid inhibitor as well now. And Marcus is so limited to his engage because you can't Ornhorn if the wind wall is up.
Yeah, I mean, the wind wall is a real menace in the team comp, and the Orn wall is coming in.
Speaking of limited engage in the mid lane, Algren again is going to be under threat, but this time Like It More is going to fall. Now the bot lane is going to come on through as well. No info, trying to keep his team alive now. Interstellar, this could be their fight, this could be the one they're looking for. The Yasuo fell early on already now. Kreller, keep your eyes on him, he's the damage dealer, he's the carry they have left. And he is doing enough damage for them to win this fight. Reval Lynx moving on forward. Marcus, nothing you can do there. Algren doing as much as he can, but after the ultimate gets burned, not much you can do. Now looking for the Nexus towers, looking for the Nexus, looking to end this game one in a pretty dominating fashion. Marcus trying to see what he can do to defend his own Nexus, to defend his base, defend his team, but just looking for the end. Preller gonna be under threat, but the shields coming through. Are they going to take down the Zaya? The answer is yes, he gets shut down, but is it too little too late? The answer is yes, as the rest of Interstellar just for the TP to make sure this game ends. From the Like It More, the Yasuo has made his way back. As for the Nexus being target now is gonna get taken down. Game one going over to the side of Reval Lynx.
I mean, yeah, the game went like at the least majority of it went as we expected. The draft was really strong in the Lynx side, and the game drew, and they just sustained. The only thing that didn't go as I planned was the Ornn Gwen matchup, which I foreshadowed and jinxed on on purpose. It's the caster curse, and we all are aware of it. But yeah, I mean, it was still a fun watch, and certainly Interstellar didn't take the fight like just without weapons. They had MF, which got really strong early on. The 2v1 was like still really nasty, but in the end, the wind wall and the draft diff was just massive.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, I do agree with you. It is very difficult draft for the side of Interstellar to pull off. And I'm very impressed to see how Like It More played the Yasuo. Many highlight plays for him. And do you think it's gonna potentially be banned in game number 2? Do you think it was enough of a threat for Interstellar to think they're gonna pick it again, or do you think they're gonna leave it open?
I think they're gonna leave it open, but rather just change their own draft, because even if it wasn't against that wind wall, I do think like Interstellar's draft was a little bit like full of holes. But maybe we'll see something different. We are seeing Interstellar now on the blue side, so maybe they can just see the mid lane pick and just leave the space for Renekton, unless it gets banned. Because Renekton is still a really good blind on top lane as well, so maybe they can flex it all the way.
Yeah, definitely. So can opt in for the Renekton early on, flex into the mid lane if needed to against that Yasuo, which we saw be very, very impactful in that game number 1. We will be taking a little bit of a break now, heading into this game number 2 to get ourselves ready, to get the players ready for this hype series and our last series of the day, guys. So don't go anywhere. We're gonna be right back. welcome back everybody to this game number 2 of our second series of the day, Interstellar Aquila versus Reval Lynx. And what a game one we had for us. Absolute carnage for both of these teams. And I'm excited for what this game number 2 can bring.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was absolutely insane performance from Like It More, at least. As we saw, the Yasuo just pulling a fast one on everyone that came his way. And hopefully we're seeing it on the mid lane again. Maybe not in form of the Yasuo, but at least something similar. Yon.
Definitely so, and to me, Like It More is a player that I think shines when he's on someone like a playmaking champion, someone like a Yasuo, someone who can just play aggressive and just shine mechanically. I feel like each one of those players, and so far, not seeing much adaptations come through in the drafting phase. Braum, Ezreal, we'll see what the third ban is in a moment on the side of Interstellar, on the side of Revel Lynx, taking away Jarvan Vladimir, and there it is. I was asking you in that game number 1 whether they were gonna give it enough respect to take it away, and looks like the answer is yes.
The answer is gonna be yes, and the Revel Lynx is gonna ban Ornn as they respect the Braum ban
Ooh.
there. And waiting fresh first pick, support first pick. That is interesting to say the least, because you usually, as a blue side, pick either a OP jungler or ADC. So
I feel like I don't mind support like picking first if I feel like it's someone that's really contested, if you're gonna go for a Rel or something. But if it's a Thresh, I feel like you can maybe leave that for later. Maybe there was nothing else they prioritize higher than the Thresh, but that I believe to me is a first Thresh of split 5, and Thresh is not a champion that you can just first time and you can be good. The Thresh is a champion that requires training and practice, and there's a lot of solo queue games on a champion if you want to pull it off, especially in a competitive environment such as this one.
yeah, I mean, now we also see that Jinx, Ivan, both like just straight up meta picks, which is like quite respectable. And we still see Interstellar not giving up that misfortune, I believe. But then again, showing off the trash, I'm not too sure about that. But maybe they are. Maybe they're cooking. They know what they're up to. And we see the MF locked in.
I mean, if they're cooking, I think they might need to get out the kitchen for this one. I'm not entirely convinced about the early Thresh misfortune. If you compare it to the first 2 picks on the side of Revel Lynx, Ivern and Jinx, both of these champions are just so good at the moment, and especially after game 1, seeing how Revel Lynx can play, seeing what they can pull off, I wouldn't be surprised if they go for a sort of a really supportive support in a way to protect this Jinx even more and just play through this Jinx, because Jinx, like we said earlier, is a ticking time bomb. Once he gets to those 3 items, it is GG's unless you can somehow take her out, somehow find her and assassinate her with things like a Diana, for example, which we are seeing on the side of Interstellar.
I mean, yeah. Oh, yes!
Oh my god! You predicted it!
Nah, they know me. They know me because that's also the guy who plays in house with us. So you know, we we are part of this culture, and now the whole SLE is gonna suffer because of it.
You brought the plague. You're patient zero. You sound so happy about it.
I'm insanely happy about it.
And why don't you expand a little bit on this for those who potentially didn't catch our first series of the day?
I mean, yeah, we talked about Tom Gensh here, and like don't stop leaking stress. Yeah, thing is, yeah, Gensh is relatively unknown as a good top player, but he is insanely versatile. He has ult to both just like engage in terms of just disabling one enemy champion, or just eat your own champions and jump in with them, which is if you don't know, you can use W. As Kench has like his team with him. So it's gonna end up insane if Los Mordereto here can pull it off.
Yeah, definitely so, and like you said yourself, keep in mind this is the improved Kench, where you can indeed eat up an ally, jump on in with that ally, and just spit him out in front of people. You see as well so far in the second banning phase. A lot of bans going towards that top lane. We see Malphite, Orianna on the side of Interstellar, double top lane bans for the side of Reval Lynx in the form of Aatrox and Nautilus. In the Aatrox and Olaf, sorry, the Nautilus is actually going to be hovered here on the side of Reval Lynx. It is going to be locked in as well, a lot of engage coming through, and this could of course keep in mind, before the Nautilus was locked in, it could have been a Tankage support as well. He can be flexed into both lanes, but it is going to secure him in the top lane for the side of Reval Lynx. And I need to ask you, since you are the Tankage connoisseur, what the hell do you pick into this thing to beat it? Because I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there aren't that many good picks, in the sense that that thing is just a neutralizer in and on itself. I wouldn't even go on to pick, like, I wouldn't pick a straight counter in terms of just laning phase, but I would rather go with something that, in the long run, just helps out in the team fights and just like neutralizes the potential that Kench can bring.
So how about the set?
How about set? I mean, yeah, set is good, and I feel if you imagine Kench jumps in and then just straight up deliver him right out.
The taxi service coming on through. And
Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm looking for those plays.
definitely can be a good solution into the Kench. That is what the side of Interstellar have chosen to opt in this time around, and it's gonna be definitely an interesting top lane matchup. And I'm just impressed because, like you said it yourself, this is something we talked about before this series too. This is something we talked about in series one, before game one, way before draft started. We brought up the Kench, we brought up the in-houses, and it ends up coming through in our second series of the Reval Link, showing that they are pretty confident on it going to this game too, as they are gonna be locked in the mid lane against the Tristana mid this time around. And of course, Reval Links do have the momentum. They did indeed end up taking game number one, but if we scratch the momentum, if we scratch the hands diff and throw all that out the window, purely based on champions, who do you think won the draft?
That is a tough question right now because I think this could go either way. But as Interstellar is really lacking this like a solid front line, I feel like they are losing out a little bit. But then again, they are just dealing so much damage that it might not like end up even mattering at all. I do think Revel Lynx has more of a of this meta draft kind of thing, where they have like a straight up front line, a really good scaling back line, and like this all these things in between. So I do feel Revel Lynx should win this one, but barely.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Just based on the fact that they have Jinx, I feel like whichever team has Jinx just automatically wins, just because that champion is definitely a little bit beyond broken at the moment. But I'm surprised, at least to me, that Milio is seeing as little play as she is. Another champion that got buffed in the same patch as Jinx did. I got a little bit scared because I thought we were going to be seeing Milio pretty much every game, but so far none of the teams have really picked it up. We are still seeing engaged supports, which to me, I very much like seeing. It makes the game more fun for us. I'm sure it makes the more fun for the players to play as well, and more fun for everybody to watch. But Jinx, Azir, Ivern, and so many good champions on the side of Revel Lynx. Tom can a bit of a wild card thrown in there as well, alongside the Nautilus, another very meta champion, and just meta all throughout the comp of Revel Lynx. Where on the other side, Diana, Thresh, said some things that we don't see too often, but definitely, if used correctly, can be great tools to lead you to victory.
You know what? I retract my statement. Honestly, the more I look at River Lynx's draft, they kind of lack damage. Because Azir can be really, really strong, but if he gets shut down by Tristana, which is actually likely, then they might end up just not dealing damage at all. I mean, Jinx is really, really strong, don't get me wrong, but if Interstellar just keeps an eye out on where Jinx is, then Jinx cannot play. So I'm leaning more towards Interstellar now.
Changing opinions as we go, are we?
I mean, nothing has changed still. I haven't seen the game yet.
Someone's paying you off, for sure.
Yeah.
Money has switched hands, but I can definitely understand where you're coming from. I feel like they also have a lot of engage on the side of Interstellar. Diana and Seth can be great for just getting yourselves in the middle of the team fight, and if you can potentially find the Tom Kench ultimate as the set, can find the showstopper into a haymaker on top of that Jinx, she might go down very quickly. Jinx is known as an AD carry, and I did bring up this earlier, or on an earlier day as well, where Jinx was picked up, known as a champion who not very mechanically intensive outside of the chompers and the rocket you have, but requires a hell of positioning because Jinx as a champion, you have no mobility, you have no tools to get yourself out of a hairy situation where you compare her to, for example, Isaiah, who has the Featherstorm, has the Blade Caller, can peel for herself. Jinx cannot do that. Only has the chompers that generally aren't enough if you have multiple champions running at you, especially if it's things like a Diana, things like a Set. So definitely it's gonna be all about positioning and maximizing that DPS on the side of Reval Lynx, because I do agree with you in the sense that they are heavily relying on this Jinx to keep herself alive in these team fights, because if she does fall and if she does go down very early on, it could be very troublesome for the side of Reval Lynx.
Yeah, it's gonna be volatile for sure, and it's up to Interstellar to just make sure that Jinx doesn't get to leave at all. Um, yeah, I mean, this could end up either way because if you're looking at Tristana mid, which it hasn't been that popular from all what I've seen, but is actually just really strong mid laner. It has been nerfed, but not enough in my eyes. Especially now that the Doran's items have been buffed, and getting that Tristana permanent lead because you can't outshove a Tristana is gonna give Interstellar a lot of river control to play around.
Yeah, definitely so. And that's one of the strong suits of the Tristana, which I didn't touch on quite yet, but definitely a good thing that you highlighted. Tristana is a strong pick just because you get that permanent shove in the mid lane. And that means that you just unlock the rest of your map, and your team, every time Tristana steps out of vision, they're going to be wondering, where is this Tristana going? Is he going top lane? Is he going mid lane? Are they being big on jungle play with the mid laner? Is it going to be a 2v1? All these question marks going through their head, and that is one of the strong suits of things like the Tristana, especially good into things like control mages. Something that we regularly see into like a Victor, for example, is the Tristana, because Tristana just jumps on his head, just bonks him, and because it's Tristana, you get the bomb, you proc it, and you do a very short trade. Your jump resets, and you get yourself on out of there. So definitely a good thing to see coming out of Interstellar. I do agree. Hasn't seen as much play now as it ended up seeing at this. I feel like a couple of weeks ago at least it's been since we've seen Tristana mid, but very good pick into that zero that is very long range.
Yeah, and also I don't think we have seen too much of Diana jungle either, which should prove like I think it should be actually really good. There has been almost nothing that has rendered it useless, at least. Jack Shaw maybe has fallen off a little bit, which disables tank Diana, but the AP Diana is still going strong. Having a sole AP as Diana is a bit dangerous, but I hope Interstellar can overcome it.
Definitely so, and it does mean that this time Kench is gonna be tanky as hell as well if this Diana falls behind. And again, this is gonna be the game that determines whether Revel Lynx gets to that 10-0, or not the 10-0, sorry, but the 10 power spike and those double digits that we were talking about earlier. If Revel Lynx end up taking this game, they're gonna end this week 10-4, which is a pretty strong standing to be on going forward. And obviously, with playoffs closing as well, there are a lot of games left to play until that mark hits. So, definitely, all of these teams are starting to run out of time to show their mark here. And definitely, I feel like gonna be a good matchup nonetheless in this game, too. But considering what we saw in game number one, I'm expecting some more aggression coming out of both of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, Interstellar now has, as I've said, like I don't know, like 20 times now, on this a little bit like rush mode where they just can't afford another lose probably. As even if they do end up losing this one, they are like still in a solid spot to get onto playoffs. But the seeding also matters, right? So they are really pushing for that one win at least to get a little bit better spot in the playoffs. And they right now have a draft in order to do so, which wasn't really present at the first game. So, well, I'm at least hoping to see something of maybe not innovating, but at least like optimally played game.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely have the tools in their tool belt to be able to do just that. And it's gonna be an interesting game ahead of us. I feel like Reval Lynx definitely have the momentum going into this game number two. Definitely gonna be interesting as well whether we see some level one shenanigans because the side of Reval Lynx with the Nautilus, not that they have that strong of a level one, can of course always look for it. Hook champions can be unpredictable. Some people really like to make the level one plays. Some teams don't, but already seeing some level one plays coming through out from the side of Interstellar, 3 men into that bot lane as we are underway in our game 2 of the 2-game series.
Yeah, it's again like I don't think we have seen a single invade yet, which is quite interesting. Um, I would assume that like at least Nautilus on the team, one team would try it, but here we are, just sitting around watching, observing.
So far, definitely. And yeah, all we've seen is just a couple of stacks. We've seen some teams do some stacking, haven't seen any aggressiveness come out in level one quite yet. I feel like neither of these teams have an amazing level one, which is why I'm not really that surprised to not see it come out here. We will see Hellern so far starting on the Wolves leash less, which does mean that neither teams will really have any information on the junglers, either, and obviously a champion that doesn't need a leash to begin with. But Marcus already taking the tongue from Los Murderito over in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, this, yeah, I mean, Seth is just setting the pace of the matchup here. Yeah, this is gonna be just a wet noodle fight in the sense that both want to farm, and if they do get a trade off, then that's just a plus and nothing more. It's a bit of a boring matchup. But on the bot lane, however, they have two hook champs, which I am really excited for, and hope to see like a lot of action and trading.
Yeah, definitely. So Algren, I feel like, is better off as the misfortune in these early trades. Definitely has a lot of damage to his name, especially with the press of the attack. Although I'm not entirely sure about the longsword start. Like you said it yourself, Doran's items have been buffed, which is why I feel like it would have been better as well. You tend to see people start longsword when they're against the poke lane, just for the extra sustain of the extra potion skin, while her making a little bit of a roam in towards the mid lane, but it has no play here as a zero. Very hard that champion to gank, very hard champion to catch, but definitely would have liked to see a Doran's come out from Algren, just because I feel like if you are gonna find yourself in a fight, it's a fight where you're either gonna kill the other person or you're gonna die. And speaking of fights, like it's more under threat in the mid lane now gets the shield. The Dorzo now taking this very aggressive fight for himself. Like it more has to flash on away. The Dorzo not gonna flash follow up because he knows 300 inches is right there, but already mid lane being scrappy as all hell.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're hoping for, right? It's a fist fight on the mid lane. As Tristana knows, she has this this really good pressure and maybe even a level lead. Okay, Marcus. Maybe.
Marcus looking for the 1v1 in the top lane. He's gonna stand up. Haymaker is gonna give himself the shield to keep himself alive. Now both top laners being low HP. Marcus hiding from the minions. The blast forward and the Kench has been unbenched.
It is a wonderful sight to see it. Getting that 400 gold up on the Los Mordereta here. And getting that early lead will mean that it might just expand even further.
Definitely so, and I mean, you said this top lane is gonna be very much the not so aggressive lane out of all of these, but already seeing some aggression coming through now. Ogren gonna take the hook into his face. Curler gonna be under threat, but the hook goes wide. Death sentence won't be sentencing anybody to death anytime soon, and Valher is gonna walk on out, but cleanse burn from Ogren could spell disaster, because 3 angry inches has found himself down onto the bot lane. I like it more again. Aggressive trade in the mid lane. Both mid laners falling very, very low, but Zidorzo with the fleet footwork does have the sustain for himself.
Yeah. I mean, so far it hasn't been that interesting of a bot lane, which, you know, I'm kind of bummed out on. But
Someone killing the top lane though.
yeah, I mean, top lane has been really fun so far. Interesting choice in the boots as well. I mean, not the boots themselves, but rather that you rush boots here, because Gensh really is reliant on items, and getting that early on Heartsteel, which I assume the Gensh goes, would be like really advantageous here.
Yeah, definitely. So would have also been advantageous to get that cannon minion, but unfortunately Los Murderito ends up missing out on that one. Now, obviously Tom can scaling with health as well on your Q, I believe. The health you get back is
And the
dependent
passive as
on
well.
your max health. Yeah, definitely. So like you said, a lot of benefits but he gets off of HP, which means a little bit odd to opt in for those boots, but we'll see how that ends up working out for himself. And definitely seeing already a lot of action in this top lane. Zidor's just looking for push on in mid, and more action as they're just gonna punch each other out. Los Murderito does have that level 6, which means Marcus needs to be a little bit careful. 3 Angry Inches is over here as well, and could get eaten up very, very quickly if Marcus isn't careful in his top lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of difficult to play as a set now. As Marcus is like struggling to play against those boots, just Gensh outruns and effectively outdamages thanks to grasp. But I mean, Dragon from Interstellar is also a really good sign of just getting really well off into the mid game, and if they keep going at it, then they're eventually just gonna outscale.
Yeah, definitely. So Chemtech Dragon, of course, not being the best first dragon in the game, but definitely won't complain to pick up an objective nonetheless. That's gonna be a flash out of Yalern. Interestingly enough, had to dodge from the dredge line as all the members from the side of Reval Lynx were making their way on over.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if they made it a little bit sooner on the Dragon. That could have been like a huge catch, but here we are. Unfortunately, cannot do that anymore. I mean, interesting thing is that I haven't seen Tristana play around on the map too much, considering like that Sedorso has like permanent fire on the lane.
Yeah, definitely haven't been using that to his advantage, but in the bot lane, Kreller is gonna pick himself up one kill, can he get himself one more Ogren under threat in the bot lane? Nil Info is gonna be tanking up the tower. Kreller has finally been unleashed, and this is a dangerous situation for the side of Interstellar.
Oh yeah, I mean Jinx getting that early on items already has finished the boots, and now will get even more, possibly a Noonkur, then gonna deal like a tons of damage. So
Yeah,
it's something to look out for.
definitely so, and Kreller, definitely a star that can shine very brightly in the Revel Link squad. Already saw it in game number 1, but where do you expect for this pressure to be now that Herald is gonna be spawning up?
I mean, the prime target always has been to open up mid early on, because that just opens up so many jungle paths and overall control of the map. But as things are going, I do think interesting. By the way, Jinx is rotating top, so they are like really onto that Baron right now. But I think bot lane is where this Herald is gonna go, because already some plates are down and Jinx is gonna eventually end up there again.
Yeah, definitely. So far, like you said, rotating the bot lane opposite the top lane from the side of Revel Lynx. Looking to catch out Marcus, potentially Dredge line is going to be landing in the top lane. Marcus has to flash on out, but he's going to be able to get himself over to safety enough. Yalern looking for the next engage. Did end up securing out Rift Herald with the Lantern, is going to make his way on out, but like you said, Herald should be going over towards the bot lane. Meanwhile, Los Murderito just been chilling and farming himself up a little bit more gold. But it's gonna go in the mid lane instead.
Okay. I mean,
Hold
yeah,
on.
the bot. Oh, maybe. Nah, not gonna happen this time around. It's a bit of a shame, really.
Got a little bit scared there for a moment, considering Marcus where he's flashed about 2 minutes earlier, but gonna be able to get himself on out of that one. Herald in the mid lane. Yalern,
Okay.
meanwhile, it's gonna be under threat dredge line now. Yalern with the counter engage flash on out. Kreller could be in trouble. That's gonna be the shotgun going through a double for Marcus there, pick still for but Price is shot down there. A little bit of a throw from the side of Reval Lynx now and engage in the mid lane. Zorzo with King Valor looking for the kill in the mid lane, but the hook does not land. The faster emote is gonna be popped as well, and the game is starting to explode in our hands.
Yeah, it certainly felt at one point that maybe like Reval Lynx is gonna take this over with the Jinx already getting fed, but doesn't seem to be the case just yet, as they are just gaining a bit too much confidence and getting onto those tower dives that maybe shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, the lane swap I feel like definitely not the ideal there for the side of Revel Lynx. Definitely didn't want Kreller's shutdown to be given away that easily. And do you feel like Marcus could potentially prove to be a problem now that he has this gold, or do you think the side of Revel Lynx has the comp to neutralize the set?
I mean, depends a lot how Set is gonna build, because if he goes Ulbreaker right now, I do feel there aren't many champions that can match Set, who has actually like 2 items completed. But if he goes something team-oriented like Sterak's Cage, then maybe it's not that big of a problem. It's annoyance, sure, but it's not the thing you're looking out for.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of builds he can opt into, of course, like you said, Hullbreaker, Starks being the 2 main options. You tend to see nowadays Spear Sojourn as well can be built, but not necessarily on set as predominant as the 2 other options. Now Mountain Drake gonna be spawning up very soon. Already can see both junglers down towards this bot side definitely looking to pick themselves up that early on. Dragon Valor, keep in mind not level 6 quite yet, as no info did end up getting more XP on the map. Zedorzo though, level 9 on this Tristana, no items quite yet, but is still very strong in these small little skirmishes.
Yeah, certainly. And Dragon already like being contested here. I mean, Interstellar is just going all out on that river control, not really keeping it, as they are split up.
Oh.
And Tristana and Diana, I mean, Tyler and Zedorus are both like pivoting mid lane, and neither team actually ends up taking the Dragon, which is a bit surprising.
Definitely both teams just pondering, looking so far, investigating, seeing if there's any catches, any picks they can find before doing that dragon. But again, river control, like you said, ended up going over to Interstellar. Interestingly enough, ended up giving it up very quickly as well. So all those control wards, all the vision that they set down there is gonna be taken out and swept away. Still good vision though, still a lot of wards left, so a lot of info for them to work around. Have that control ward in the Dragon Pit as well, should be able to get rid of that very, very quickly now, but Dragon might actually just get started up here by the side of Revel Lynx. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. No, it's fine.
Permanently aging on those hooks.
I thought they might find something, but they didn't find anything.
Yeah, I mean that's what is always going on with those hooks champions, right? It's like, oh, it's gonna hit, nah, but this time not again.
Always just living on the edge, but a team that is done living on the edge is Interstellar. They've had enough. They said they want some action on this Drake. He's gonna be able to pick themselves up second Drake of the game, and this puts them a step closer to that Ever Formation Souls. Good try on the Super Mega Death Rocket there, as it did not end up connecting. A good block coming through, ends up doing a little bit of chip damage. That's about it, as the oceans are going to be brought to life, and it's gonna be an ocean map for us today.
I mean, I feel like Ocean map is like every second map. Not gonna lie. I don't know why, but you feel this bias, right? You always do. It's sometimes like the Drakes you see more often are maybe not. It's not even that they are actually seen more often. Oh,
Oh,
did we get the kill?
hook does land. I figured they would both be able to make it out, but
One
King
more.
Valor, it's gonna fall. Kreller with a ghost pop is gonna be able to get the kill for himself. And again, this Jinx is just absolutely popping off 3-on-1 already. A lot of kills coming through. And interestingly enough, end up losing the 2v2 nonetheless, despite the collector in Algren's inventory.
Yeah, I mean, Jinx also getting back up again. Even if she doesn't have the bounty anymore, it just doesn't matter that she's still strong. She's just still Jinx
Yoler
effectively.
gonna be under threat in the mid lane, gonna get booped on back like
Oh,
it more
what?
threat. The
Is it
doors
also?
with a flash forward in the mid lane. He's gonna have to use the ultimate to boop back 300 inches right there. Yoler now looking for another aggressive play on in, but the doors are going a little bit over aggressive there with that play. Now the Tom Kench has been
Whoa.
arriving, but the lantern, but this we're gonna death rocket is not gonna find its target. And King Valher, the savior of the day, is gonna go to save his jungler from the grasps of death.
It was quite quite a close call for several times for Helen. And I mean, getting out alive is all good. When you waste the enemy resources, you get wasted time, and it's just well worth it.
Definitely so, and speaking of time, the side of Reval Lynx gonna spend a little bit of time on this Rift Herald, should be able to pick themselves up this one very easily. And where do you expect for the side of Reval Lynx to put their pressure towards, and where do you expect this Rift Herald to potentially go?
I do expect that they're gonna answer also with the mid, because like especially now that the plates themselves don't really matter anymore. It is just just about map control, and opening up that mid lane is gonna be a huge part of how the next team fights are gonna play out.
Definitely so, and you have a lot of avenues to use that Rift Herald on over, but I do agree with you. Mid lane, I feel like to me is the ideal target, because once you break down that mid lane tower, the map just opens up so much more for you. But you can't just smack it on in there with all the wave clear. On the side of Interstellar, you have Algren, you have Zadorzo, and just so much wave clear on their side. You do need to plan it out a little bit more. So far, we haven't seen him pop it quite yet. They are expecting to get a pick or two before doing that. We are also seeing that also they respond to like it more in the side lane, but this should be, I feel like them both just smacking each other, nothing really happening down here. I doubt he's gonna be able to get the reset, although the tower does go down. Demolish gonna be proc as well. Now Hyala gonna be under threat here. He's gonna go for the engage, like it more with a good Shurima shuffle. He's able to get himself on out. Lost for the Rito with the DP down the bot lane too. Should be able to respond to this. Dorzo now gonna be under threat in the bot lane. Should be able to get a reset off of that jump on back out, but Lost Murderito says no, you are mine. The tongue comes through and lick to his grave, like it more now under threat. The eat is able to save his mid lane. This field is so damn big. Hyala does not have the damage to break through the shield. Now in the mid lane, a dive coming through color is gonna be hooked. The death sentence is gonna lead to death this time on a round, and fighting on all fronts, but the bot lane is the main winner.
Yeah, I mean there was just a lot of action packed into that 1 minute, but as I said, the Rift Herald did eventually gain down onto the mid lane tower, and they opened up the map really well. Yeah, all those skirmishes just end up honestly just nullifying each other. We have still even gold.
Very much so, and at this point, when you have even gold, it's more so about where the gold is at. If we can quickly pan over to the individual gold, I just want to take a look at who's leading, who is not, and we are seeing that ADC position for the side of Revel Lynx. Kreller has 900 gold lead at the moment. Same thing in the mid lane. A little bit of a gold lead there for Revel Lynx as well. The jungle, though, is a little bit behind. Y'all are in there 400 gold ahead as well. So definitely you can see where the leads are at for both of these teams. And with this dragon coming up, I expect for some more action down towards this bot side.
Yeah, I mean we have been repeating like several times that bot lane is gonna see far more action, and then it's just nothing happening for straight 5 minutes. But at least the dragon is up and they're doing it, so I'm expecting this will draw aggro. No? No. Okay.
Nah. There are no more fighting in this bot side. They're all focused on the top side, you know. Lost Murderito found himself a solo kill early on. Now looking for a kill in the mid lane. Algren is gonna be able to get lanterned on out. Should be completely fine. And such a hard champion to catch when you have a Thresh by your side, alongside the movement speed from that Misfortune passive. And again, Kreller, he's the strong member here. Almost on 2 items, almost an Infinity Edge finished on up. And once he finishes that, he is going to sting.
He should be already stinging, as the Kraken Slayer spike already is huge. The true damage coming in, like every 3 auto attacks from Jinx, which is, mind you, from a really far away distance, is definitely gonna hurt some team fights. Either way. Oh, it's magic damage now, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe so. Yeah, and should definitely be. Still, like you said, does do a lot of damage, but even more so once Infinite Edge comes on through. Now the game has stalled itself out a little bit, which does mean we can just take a look, which means we can just take a look down at the vision as well. And yeah, Kraken Slayer passive does turn out to be physical damage after all, so it does mean Queller should be able to benefit quite a lot from that. And as well as the red buff being on means that he with those slopes should be very strong. Now Healer ain't gonna be caught out in the bot side jungle dredge line coming through, as well as the death charge. Queller picking himself up another kill for the Jinx, and more gold in the pocket of this crazy woman in the bot lane, and should be just another kill picked up.
Yeah, I mean, as we talked about, like eventually Genj did finish off the Heartsteel, and that's what we're going for. If no one else knows, as I suspect, because you know people don't really know anything about Genj really.
Oh no.
Oh,
Hook in the bot.
that's the hook what we're looking for. Wall here.
Like it more, gonna get engaged. Another bullet ring comes on through, doing a bunch of damage, but not onto any important members. Now the knockback is gonna be their Haymaker as well. The double kill coming out from Marcus, a big play from the set. What can they get out of this? No carries alive, but is Los Murderito going to be a carry enough for them to win this fight? This time Kench very tanky in the top lane. Algren just does not have the damage to pull this off with the lethality build. Flash cleanse everything to get away, but is it gonna be enough? Now
He's just gonna walk
be
it
around.
down.
They do need to be careful in this top lane because this Diana is here. Shield is gonna be good as well. A lot of great health to play around with, but not gonna even be popped, as it's gonna be a shutdown over to the Diana. Meanwhile in the bot lane, Dorzo just split pushing himself on through, but the fight goes over to the side of Reval Lynx.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of went down, and Val here got a really nice hook here. But but we are seeing again replay on how the catfish really demolishes the opposition here, just walking down and not giving a damn about the turret aggro.
I feel like if he pops his Grey Shield there, he lives, but
Maybe.
small
But
things.
Again, like Tristana got, I mean, Zadorus just got really a lot of work done on the bot lane, right? It's just like several towers. Getting that inhib open is certainly an angle that Interstellar can actually use on the upcoming fights.
Definitely so, and I also do want to bring our attention a little bit to the builds, because we are seeing a good adaptation coming through from Mr. Algren, having the Serpent's Fang against all these shields on the Ivern, on the Tom Kench, on the Nautilus, all these shields coming through, which means that Algren just decides to go Serpent's Fang, and Serpent's Fang can be a very good item against comps like these already, just popping Queller for so much more damage, and you can see the shield after that not being so big due to the Serpent's Fang. So a good pickup from him, and should be working slowly but surely his way onto his next item.
Yeah, I mean, it's not in a real rush to actually deal that much AD damage either, because you have Tristana on your team, you have this crit damage already. And maybe it's even wiser to just keep yourself lethality in order to not make Rundun's Omen as valuable buy as it might have been.
Definitely so. They do know this is happening. 7,000 on the Baron. Algren with the bullet ring could be huge here if he can get it off. No info now. Gonna be the first one under. Threads the Orzo jumping in very aggressively. They're trying to one-shot the Ivern. 3 angry inches. Gonna be under threat. Does manage to live. Doesn't flash on out now. It's gonna be Queller who needs to be the target. Keep your eyes on this Jinx. He needs to live it. They wanna win this fight. Yellern jumping on him, but does get the eat. Does get himself saved on out. The Marcus but you chase Queller on down, but not gonna be able to get the kill. Now the flank from Algren, out of all people, the flanking misfortune. Los Murderito again is gonna be the last survivor. Is this time gonna be up against a lot more numbers than last time on around? Are they gonna have enough damage to take out the catfish? Haymaker comes on through. Is it gonna be enough? Marcus very low HP, just trying to pop the tongue, trying to do anything to keep the set on alive, but Los Murderito has just so much regen, so much HP to play around. But finally the catfish has been taken out, and they finally kill the top lane.
That was wild ride from the beginning to the end, and it was quite something. I mean, the amount of just Heartsteel stacks that Kench got from this fight already has just a ton of value. So it might have been not that bad after all for Reval Lynx here.
Definitely so, but sometimes you don't need to kill the Tomkin. Sometimes you kill everyone around the Tomkin, ends up being the last one alive, which means he won't be able to pull himself onto. Now King Valor gonna be under threat. Keller is gonna pop the ghost. This is gonna be a very fast Jinx running after you, so you need to be a little bit careful. The doors now is gonna turn on around, trying to return some damage, but Keller does still have the ghost. Did get the reset, the shutdown on that. No info now. Looking for the Hex Flash over the wall. He's gonna be able to find the Tristana Queller. Another kill for his name. Ghost again is gonna be reset now. The Death Charge coming on through alongside the Dread Blind Dollar, and it's so gonna be Sunder. So much CC, so much crowd control coming on through. No info, so low HP on him, but the Nautilus will prevail. The Nautilus will not fall, and again Reval Lynx come through.
Yeah, I mean, this one was just could be called just like a straight up pick off of several people here, starting with Wall here at the start of the fight, which just proved to be quite lethal in the end.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
That's a
No
flanking
way.
MF. That's how did he... Algren is gonna be in absolute no man's land. He's trying to get himself on the safety, but I'm not entirely sure what the idea was or the thought process was. Huh? Why?
Yeah, I mean, he was cooking, is all I'm going to say. But
I think he burnt it.
yeah, a bit. The kitchen is on fire.
I'm confused. It's a flanking MF. He figured if the Queller just walked into him, he can maybe one-bop him with the lethality, but this time around ends up getting caught in somewhere where he should never be at. And it's gonna be Baron as well off of that, going over to the side of Reval Lynx. Now they are the ones who are in control. But interestingly enough, despite it looking so good for Reval Lynx, the gold is pretty much similar between these two teams, only 1,000 going over to them, so definitely so far still all to play for on the side of Interstellar.
Yeah, I mean, Set really needed a blue buff, but the thing is, I mean, with the Baron going on now, the Jinx being fed, Genj being really unkillable here, it's gonna be really rough for Interstellar to do anything about the siege that is gonna happen within few seconds. And as I talked about quite a bit early on, is that Jinx is gonna just pop off on the sieges with the new passive change that will just eventually lead to a really just a Sonic Jinx.
Definitely so. Engage gonna be coming on through. Keep your eyes on Queller. That's the big target. That's what you need to find. 3 items on this Jinx now. Has found himself a reset. King Valor gonna be under threat. Ignite does go down onto the Thresh as well. Marcus versus Daisy having a duel, a 1-on-1, but Daisy just walks on away. Wants no piece of that. Marcus now with a big ultimate there. Aldrin does have his ultimate as well, but it's not gonna be enough. So many members getting burnt on out. That's gonna be 2 kills for Aldrin. Their big ultimate coming out. Big combo for the side of Interstellar, but Queller still keeps on living. Lost Margarito, still a lot of HP to play around with. That grey health should give him a bunch of HP on back. The hook almost lands onto Queller. Now the doors are gonna be popped on back. The jump is too damn aggressive, and Queller takes out everybody, gets taken out himself, but it's not gonna be enough. Queller did all he could, did enough, ends up dying in the end, but he does not care, because the other thing that dies is the Nexus, as Reval Lynx take it 2-0 win.
Yeah, I mean 2-0 is okay, maybe not something that we expected, but certainly looking at the drafts we had an inkling of. And here all I'm saying is that Reval Lynx had amazing drafts. They played it out well, but the biggest thing is that they set up themselves to success early on, and that's what carried the games.
Definitely so. Sometimes the draft can just be the difference maker, and sometimes it is all that matters. This time around, Queller having 2 wonderful games for himself. Reval Lynx with a 2-0 win of the series. And who do you think played the best today? Who would you give your series MVP over to?
Honestly, I have no idea. Like it more? But then
Yeah,
again, like Azir was like okay-ish at best. So I don't know. If everyone's a winner.
No. That's not good for an answer. I'm not accepting that. Not happening.
Not
Give me a
happening.
name.
Let me think about it. Honestly, like, I wanted to give it to Algren right before what we saw at the Parent Pit, and then the award just melted away. Like,
Oh god. Okay, so if it's not Algren, who would you?
I'm gonna give it to Like It More. He had decent performance all around.
Okay, that's fair enough. I feel like I, for the most part, do agree with you, although I do feel like the top lane is where most of the action was at, and as much as I hate to give it to him, considering he got solo killed up against an Ornn, I feel like I'm gonna do it nonetheless. It's gonna go to the top lane for me, and that is going to wrap up our series for today. Of course, first series of the day. We did see two 2-0s today, and Lan ended up taking the first series 2-0, as well as Interstellar taking Reval Lynx, sorry, taking this one 2-0 as well. And definitely good to see that all teams here came out to brawl. We had some exciting games. We had Like It More Yasuo, who is and will be for now the best Yasuo we have seen so far in SLE. And that'll wrap us up for tonight. Some exciting games, of course, and catch us tomorrow, as well as I do believe we have some more games coming on through if today is Friday and I'm not completely mistaken. There will be no games tomorrow looking at the scheduling now. So Sunday is going to be where all the hope and all the prayers will be put down to. And of course, a lot of games going to be going on Sunday. Of course, all the teams tend to schedule up until the last moment. But nonetheless, I wish everyone a good day, a good night, depending on where you're watching this from. And we will catch you on Sunday and we'll catch you next time.